Well, welcome back to the videos on taking an existing program and converting it into functions. So what I'm going to do here is just a simple review. We have created a display menu that just displays the old menu. We're getting a menu choice that allows us to have a low value and a high value. In the menu choice, it was from 1 to 4. Then we have a get positive number, which returns a double. You could also write the same one with returning an integer. Then we have the function that gets the area of a circle and the function that gets the area of a rectangle. So we have the switch here that calls the different functions to get them. And now we have our final piece of the puzzle is one that's going to get the area of the rectangle in here, or rather the area of a triangle. And you can see that we are getting the length of the base, we're getting the area, height of the base, but the triangle's height. But we have here our error checking. So we don't want to do that. We already have functions that can do error checking. So why not use those functions to start off with? So let's go here and we'll create a double. We'll call it get area triangle. At this point, we do not need any parameters because we are going to get that inside the triangle function. So let's go and see if it's going to let me create it, which it is. And remember to always change the return value right away. So we know that we're going to get the area. So let's create a double variable that's going to be local here. Make sure that we initialize it. And then you would normally comment. I'm not going to be doing the comments in this video just so we don't take a lot of other time. So what we want to do now is we need to get the base and we need to get the height. So if you go back to the actual function itself, let's just go and copy and paste it. Of course, we'll get some errors since we don't have these variables. So let's go down to the function. And let me show you a shortcut, which I may have shown you or not. If you go to the function prototype and hit F12 on a Windows machine, it will take you right to the function. So we are going to now copy the code that was there. And we should get some errors because we have not declared the base and we have not declared the height. So that's an easy fix. So I'm going to do it here. And we'll call it base. And then we have height. So what we need to do now is we need to get both the base and the height. So I just corrected the semicolon there. So we're going to send a prompt here, enter the length of the base. And instead of getting the base, we're going to initialize it to equals get. And I believe we have positive number. And that's all we need here. And then we will do the same thing with the height. Since we are getting a positive number, we do not need to check to see if either the base or the height is 0. So the disadvantage of doing this way is if they give you invalid information, the program does not run. Well, we want our program to run. So we are going to get rid of that. We don't need these anymore. And we'll line this up. We'll line this up. So now we have a formula. We have base times height. And if you remember the formula, it's 1/2 the base times the height. So we have everything nicely in parentheses. So you could put base times the height times 0.5. But that's okay in this particular case. If you prefer, you could do this. That may make it a little bit more readable. And that's up to you at this point in time. Since we're not mixing operators, we're doing addition, rather, we're doing multiplication, multiplication. It's really your call as to whether or not you want to use that extra parentheses. I normally would. It just, to me, seems a little bit clearer, but that's okay. So let's go and get rid of this line here. And then we're going to run the program. Now, we are missing one thing. If you go to the actual switch statement, which runs our functions, we don't have anything in here. So what we need to do here is area equals get area of a triangle. Don't forget the parentheses. And then we're going to print the area. So right now we don't have any formatting. We're not using set precision. We're not using set width. We're not using fixed. And normally you would want to have something that says the area of a triangle with the base of this and the height of this is. But at this point in time, we don't see the area having anything more than just the area returned. So get triangle keeps the height and the width in there. There is a way to do this, which we are going to do in a later video. So we will just, at this point in time, we're going to strictly run this program here and see how it works out. So we're going to make it something simple that we can do in our heads. And let's go with, we want to do number 3. Says in 203, we'll enter the length of the base. Please enter a number greater than 0. So for the base, let's enter 2. And then for the height, let's enter 5. So let's go and enter that now. So 2 times 5 is 10 times 0.5, which is the same as dividing by 2. And then we'll hit the enter key and let's see what happens. The area is 5 and the area of the triangle, how is that possible? That makes no sense. The area is 5, the area of the triangle is 0. So right off the bat, we know we have a dilemma. So let's go and see what happened. We're going to go to our function. Now you see how easy it is. Once we find out something is not working, we can go right to the source of it. So let's go down to our function here and see what we have. Look at this. Get area of a triangle returned 0, 0. That's why you want to do that in the very beginning. So let's try this again now. We'll run the program and see if it works. We'll do number 3 again. This time we'll do 3 times 10. So that should give us 15. And the area is 15, and the area of a triangle is 15. So you can see that that's fairly simple in there. We had a mistake. It was very easy to find out. Now, one thing you would not want to do is a lot of people say that the base times the height times 1/2. So some people may try to do this. We'll do 1. Now I left out the parentheses on purpose, but here we have a dilemma because we're going to go left to right. Since everything is the same, we have multiplication, multiplication. We'll go left to right, and we have division. Remember, multiplication and division are the same. So what's going to happen is 1 is going to get divided by 2, and it's actually going to be 0. Because remember, it'll be 0.5, which since this is an integer and this is an integer, So just for the heck of it, let us try this here and see if that's indeed what it's going to be. So we can just do the same thing here. It'll overwrite it. That's all right. And let's see exactly what happens. See if we do indeed get 0. So we have number 3, and we'll do 3 and 10 again. And the area is 0. That's because when you take 1 divided by 2 is 0. So that is a reason why you would want to do it. You could do this if you want. But since 1/2 is a very easy number to remember, we have that. So again, there's many ways to do the same program. Let's get rid of this. And since we made a change, we are definitely going to test it. And let's do 3 again, and we'll do 2 and 32. See what we get. And the area is 32, the triangle, because 2 times 32 is 64 divided by 2. Now let's try it with a different one. Let's try 3 times something that's not going to be divided by 2. So let's do 3 by 11. So it's 16.5 and 16.5. So that looks good. And we can, there's different ways to format. When we print it out, we can do the set precision. Make sure that you have IO manip in here. So let's add it real quick. So what I'm going to do here is, we only have to do this once, but you can do that more than one time if you like. So once we have our output, we only need to do one C out fixed. So let's just do a C out fixed here. We could do it in every one if we like. Now we can set our set position any way that we want. So let's try the area of the circle, since that's going to give us a little bit more rounded numbers. So let's go here. We can do set precision. Let's set it to 3. And you could put the set precision here. You could put it on a separate line. I just happen to put it here because this is where I was. So let's try the area of a circle and see exactly what happens. So we are going to do 1 and enter the circle's radius. Let's make it 3.4 and see what we get. So the area is, now notice we get this number here because we didn't do any set precision, any formatting in the actual function. And here we have a nice round number. You could also use set width. You can use show point if you like. Each one has its pluses and minuses. Just remember, once you set precision to 3 here, you're going to get set precision at 3 until you change it. With set width, it's 1 and done. So you want to make sure that if you set the width to 10, make sure that the next thing that you print out is not going to be 10. You would need to set that again. So that is it for this video. In our next video, we are going to start doing some overloading functions where we can get the same results using the same function but with different parameters. For instance, we can send a prompt to this one over here. We can do get positive number. We can do the same thing, but we can send a prompt where we don't have to worry about having double things saying where it says enter positive number, enter the length, enter this, enter that. We can have exactly what we want here. We can also do things that have a default value. So there's all kinds of things that we can do in functions, which we're going to address in a series of videos coming on. So that is it for this. If you like it, please put a thumbs up in it. If you have comments, please share a comment, and I will respond as quickly as possible. With that, I hope this was helpful to you.